Vice President Biden still in there?
Yes, Mr. President.
Joe, it's me, Barack. Can I come in?
You mean President Jerkface?
Coming in, Joe. Joe, been locked inside your room all day. What's wrong?
What's wrong? Are you serious? Do you really not get it?
Does this have something to do with the whole gay marriage thing?
Doy! It's not fair, okay? I was the first one who said it should be legal, but now you're the one getting all the credit.
That's not true.
Oh yeah? Oh really? Then why are you all dressed up?
I'm going to a gala with Lady Gaga and Elton John.
See? That should be me. Vice presidents never get to go anywhere.
Joe, come on. You should be proud of what you did on Meet the Press. You're a great vice president, Joe.
I'm Sara Howard.
And I'm Zack.
And this is Channel 3 News reporting on how same-sex marriage affects the world we live in today. First off, some interesting facts about same-sex marriage. Zack?
Statistics show that there are 594,381 gay couples in the United States.
And there are 1.2 million gays in a couple currently.
And California has the most gays with 31,981.
While North Dakota has the least gay couples with only 703.
And with some significant cities, we have New York City with 47,000 couples, Los Angeles with 12,000, and Chicago with 8,000.
Now, same-sex marriage affects many different aspects of our society, including religion. While most religions do not support gay marriage, some do. Now over to Marisa Gonzalez, who is reporting on how same-sex marriage affects religion.
Thanks, guys. Some feel that God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, while others, like Mark McKinnon, feel that gay couples should be just as miserable as straight couples. Now, a small portion of the population that is extremely religious and conservative feel that gay marriage is against the Bible and morally wrong.
God loves all people, okay, and He's created life to be a certain way, and there's those who say, okay, I believe that and trust that, and there's going to be others that say, well, I don't. And when it comes to marriage, I'm a firm believer that marriage is created for a man and a woman.
Thank you, Marisa, for that insightful input on religion.
Now, not only does same-sex marriage affect religion, it also affects our economy. Research has actually shown that same-sex marriage could help boost our economy in this recession. Now over to Scott Allison with more information on the topic.
Thanks, guys. Here are a few things about gay marriage, how they affect the economy. First, if same-sex marriage was legalized in California, it would bring in nearly $700 million to the California wedding industry. Also, it would pump in almost $65 million into the new revenue into the state budget over the next 3 years. Finally, if it was a federal law, gay weddings would generate almost $1 billion in revenue each year.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that same-sex marriage could affect our economy like that.
And it affects the society also. In the last decade, the number of gays have increased by 20%.
Wow. Now over to Marisa Gonzalez with more information on the topic of how same-sex marriage affects our society.
Thanks, guys. In 2003, 44% of people had a colleague, relative, or friend who was gay, but now that number is 69%. Nowadays, people feel more comfortable about being openly gay because of the rising support, especially among the younger generation. What is your view on the topic of same-sex marriage, and why do you feel this way?
I definitely think that same-sex marriage should happen for it to occur. There's a lot of controversy around it, I know, because it's kind of a matter between religion versus state. However, I feel like it should happen because the Constitution does provide equal rights for everybody, and a number of amendments and a number of court rulings. So I definitely think that same-sex marriage should be allowed, if maybe not the word marriage be applied to it, but certainly a form of partnership that's nationally, federally recognized, that has the same benefits of marriage, so that partners can go see each other in the hospital, have the same tax benefits, definitely.
However, people opposed to same-sex marriage feel that having gay parents is not fair to the children, and every child deserves a mom and a dad. Chief Justice Moore of the Alabama Supreme Court feels that homosexuality is destructive to a basic building block of society, the family. On the other hand, Clay Aiken predicts that in the next 20 years, we're going to look back at this and be ashamed of the fact that we didn't let gays get married, just like we didn't let people of different races get married.
The religious right in America to
traditionally sees America having slipped since the protest movements in the hippie times of the 1960s. That's when women challenged their basic jobs. That's when people all of a sudden started challenging authority. That's when people all of a sudden started questioning God and talking about other kind of religions. That's when the Supreme Court said you can't have prayer in schools if it's a public school. That's when a whole bunch of things happened that, from the religious rights perspective, has been nothing but a downhill slide. It seems, for whatever reason, and you could get into a whole lot of sociological stuff on this, it seems that for the religious right, gay marriage is the final straw.
Back to you guys.
Wow, now that's interesting.
Yes, and it appears as though same-sex marriage is a very influential factor in today's political world.
And here's Scott Allison with more information on the subject.
Okay. Thanks, guys. A couple of weeks ago, President Obama was interviewed on ABC and he announced that he is pro same-sex marriage.
Over the course of several years, as I talk to friends and family and neighbors, when I think about members of my own staff who are in incredibly committed monogamous relationships, same-sex relationships, who are raising kids together, when I think about those soldiers or airmen or Marines or sailors who are out there fighting on my behalf and yet feel constrained, even now that Don't Ask, Don't Tell is gone, because they're not able to commit themselves in a marriage. At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
According to New York Times, 67% of those surveyed said that they thought Obama said it mostly for political reasons, but 24% said it was mostly because he thinks it is right. And Mitt Romney is banking on the idea that Obama will lose many supporters because of his comments, because most of Americans are against same-sex marriage. And finally, there are more than 30 states that have passed measures banning same-sex marriage, most recently those in North Carolina 2 weeks ago. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Scott.
This has been Sarah Howard
Zack Mueller
for Channel 3 News, where we report the news today.
to prepare you for tomorrow.
Have a good night, everybody.